Paedophile caught sleeping in same house as child after early release from prison. Simon Church, 46, was placed on the sex offenders register indefinitely. A man has been jailed after he was found to have stayed overnight in a house which also housed a child. Convicted rapist, Simon Church, was sentenced to 16 years in prison in 2014 for 3 charges of rape and 8 counts of rape of a child under 13. He was made the subject of a Sexual Harm Prevention Order, SHPO, and placed on the sex offenders register indefinitely. He was told not to have a child under 16 in his house for 12 hours or more as part of the provisions. However, police made an unannounced visit to the defendant's address on July 11 this year. His partner at the time told officers that her niece had stayed at the property while Church was present. Prosecutor Emma Swindell told Stoke-on-Trent Crown Court the child's father was contacted and he had not previously been made aware of Church's convictions, Stoke-on-Trent Live reports. Miss Swindell said, he and his child had attended the address in February for dinner and stayed the night. The father was not aware of the defendant's convictions. It was a breach in 2 ways. He had a child at the address and the child's parents did not know about his convictions. It was a breach of the notification requirements as the defendant spent 12 hours or more at an address with the child and this was not notified to the relevant authorities. Church pleaded guilty to 2 charges of breaching a SHPO and failing to comply with the notification requirements of the sex offenders register. Paul Cliff, mitigating, said, the Crown's case has always been there were 3 occasions when the child was at the house. The defendant was not present on 2 occasions. On the 3rd occasion, when he was not initially present, it was decided that the father and child were going to stay overnight. When he returned, they were there. He accepts the child and father stayed in one room and he stayed in the other room with his then partner. He was never left alone but does accept saying hello to the child. Mr. Cliff said Church's partner was aware of his convictions but was embarrassed and did not want to tell her brother. He said Church, of Prince's Square, Longport, is a lithographer in the pottery industry and intends to return to the job when released from prison. The dad of 3 has stopped using drugs and has no issues with alcohol, he added. Recorder Richard McConnery said, police found out your partner's niece had been visiting the address. Further inquiries were made and her niece's parents were not aware of your convictions. That child had stayed overnight on 1 occasion at your address when you had been there, something you knew was not allowed to take place. It put you in breach of your SHPO and in breach of the notification requirements. Recorder McConnery said, you were not left in an unsupervised situation with the child and she slept in a room with her father, distinct from the room you were staying in. The judge said, in his view, the harm in this case was not that high. Church was jailed for 8 months.